Hello there everybody, I'm Mr. GamePie and welcome to Let's Play Sonic Riders. Today we're going to be starting up Jet's missions and actually getting through literally half of them. So that's good. Basically, Jet has 4 groups of missions, 5 each, and they aren't delegated to specific stages. That said, going across all the missions, you will end up going to each of the tracks in the game at least once. Some of them multiple times, like twice at best. But you know, that's it. And once we've completed all of Jet's 20 missions, we'll have had 100 missions in total. And yeah, I mean, basically right here we're just trying to keep our speed over 140, which is not a mission that appeared in Storm's missions at all, and this is one of the hero tracks which Storm's missions took place in. That's actually kind of the theme of these missions. Oh yeah, also there's some pretty dumb stuff here where I fail a trick and end up going under 140. And then I just don't do a good enough trick and just, it stops me at like 110. And then there's this one. So, you see, it said that I was under 150 for a moment there, so I decided to boost to get my speed back up again. But then that resulted in me having almost no air, which, well, then this happened. I ran out of air. That was bad. But yeah, that's kind of the theme of Jet's missions, is that the first 4 missions in each set is going to be doing a wave mission on a storm level. Like Wave's last mission for Night Chase was keep your speed above 140. So Jet's mission for the Metal City, the hero counterpart to Night Chase, is keep your speed above 140. And then later on we're gonna have like Storm's 5th mission for the oh my gosh. Green Cave, for example, was the really awesome one where you went through all the flight rings. And then eventually we'll get to a Jet mission that takes place in the Babylon counterpart of Green Cave, White Cave, and it'll be going through all the flight rings. And I mean, that's basically all of Jet's missions, except for his 5th missions. His 5th missions are all very interesting. Very unique situations. Well, I guess some of them aren't that unique, but they're different from anything else, at the very least. But yeah, a lot of Jet's missions don't really follow the concept of showing off a stage in new ways because we've already seen all these stages before. We've already had missions on all of them. At this point, these are just going to be straight up the hardest missions in the game. And I mean, I feel like they've kind of been building up to that, where Storm's missions really showed off all the worlds and all the really cool stuff that the missions could provide. Jet's missions rank up your difficulty to ridiculous levels. And Wave's missions were just in an awkward middle ground, where it just wasn't good. Fortunately, I do think that Jet's missions are a lot of fun, probably in part because there aren't that many of them. You know, Jet has 20 missions, as opposed to, like, 40 missions that Storm and Wave had. Also, at one point, I mentioned that the mission mode acts kind of as an extension to the story mode. And you really don't get to see that unless you've been reading the things that Storm and Wave report about. Because you actually get to see some character development from them over the course of doing their missions, especially if you're gold ranking all of them. Because, I mean, at first, whenever you're doing the Metal City missions, Storm is, like, really brave and really tough, like, oh man, nobody could have gotten past that. Stuff like that. But then, whenever you get to some of the last missions that you can find with him, he actually shows that he's scared of certain locations. Scared of dark areas and ghosts in particular. Wave, meanwhile, starts out with a big, I guess you could say, superiority complex. Where if you do good tricks, she'll be like, what? No, that's an amateur. It must have been a trick, or she didn't do that right, you know, something like that. But then by the end of her mission mode, she's basically just given up on everything. Like, nope, they're too good, can't do it. And we're going to see some similar character development from Jet here. In fact, it's very, very similar character development from what Wave did. But you only really get that if you actually read the descriptions. There's also the Legendary Gear plot line, where the Extra 1 and Extra 2 missions are generally about Jet trying to get back the treasure that you got from Storm's missions. Meanwhile, the Extra 3 and Extra 4 missions are all about getting new treasures, which, I mean, I'll get to in the next episode, but yeah, basically, there's a lot of story elements going on here. Oh yeah, and Jet, whenever you're fighting him, will pull off some crazy tactics that no other character really does in the game. Like, he'll constantly try to stay behind you so that you won't be able to hit him. And he'll do quite a few things to do that, to make this happen. One of them is running into the electric gate at the beginning of the stage. He did that multiple times. Another one is off the first big ramp, he won't actually do a good trick. So if you do a good trick, you'll end up ahead of him. And I mean, you know, you really have to follow what he's doing carefully. Anyway, previously I've mentioned that there are several missions where you can get a ton of black junk. And this is it. Basically, you're racing against Jet, and you have to grab more junk than him. And all the junk is the same color. It's the black, the rarest kind. And I mean, this is the best place to grind for it. By the time that we're done, by the time that you're done with mission mode, there's no doubt you'll have enough black junk to create every legendary gear that you need it for. That said, I do end up not having enough junk overall to create every legendary gear by the end of this. But you'll see that whenever you see that. But yeah, I got the bronze rank, and much like how I was doing throughout the rest of mission mode, I'm going to be gold ranking these missions. Because, I mean, it's a junk mission. I said that I would gold rank all the junk missions. That's what I'm doing. You can't stop me. Really, Jet can't stop me. Yeah, I mean, this level actually throws in some tricky bits here and there, where you expect the junk to be on one path because that was the ability path. Like this right here. I expected in the first run for the junk to be where the rail was originally, but the rail isn't in this level now because of this particular mission. And so it was actually much further to the right, resulting in me missing it originally. And then, I mean, we just have the monkey ball section. The monkey ball section kind of speaks for itself at this point. It's really annoying to go through, especially trying to do the top path. In fact, several moments here, I just hold down the R button to hit the brakes as hard as possible. It results in Jet passing me for a moment, but I mean, that's not too much of a big deal. And, you know, going back to the fact that Jet's missions are easily the hardest in the game, they really do try to pull some subversive stuff on you, where you expect one thing to happen, but then, nope, another thing actually happened. It doesn't do it a whole lot, but it does occasionally happen. Anyway, that's all of Extra 1, where you do the hero stages, doing the Mission 5 version of Wave's missions. And now we have the rest of the hero tracks. So I mean, because all of the ring gathering tracks were Wave Mission 5 tracks, that actually doubles the number of ring collecting missions in the game. And I'll be honest here, there are several moments where I feel like I should not get a gold ring from getting all the rings that I did. But then, I did, somehow. I can still say that I've never gotten less than a gold ring on a ring collecting mission. And it's just really bizarre how few rings I collect on some of these moments and still get the gold ring. Also, I don't know why it didn't send me up. Maybe I needed to do a backflip or something. Like, this is clearly one where you need to do a front flip to get to the top. And I missed all the rings anyway, so, I mean, you know. That's something that happens. Yeah, like, it feels like maybe 70 is the limit for a gold ring. I can't imagine it being any lower than 70. Because 50 is the number of rings that you're required to get to succeed at the mission at all. And unless it just always gives you a gold rank or something, I mean, 70 would have to be the minimum, I think. Alright, so we got another 140 speed mission. This one's really bad because if you look carefully, you'll notice that Knuckles isn't on his regular ride. He's on the high booster. That's terrible. High booster just isn't very fast and doesn't have a very good stats in general. And you have to stay above 140 speed the entire time. And trying to boost results in you losing almost all of your air. This is a completely ridiculous situation, and the outtakes will show you why. I assure you there are so many outtakes. I even just outright cut some of them because a bunch of repeats happened. But yeah, I mean, for some reason, the below 150 sign stayed there the entire time whenever I was in the turbulence and on the jet plane, despite the fact that I was clearly going faster than 150 during those portions. Yeah, it seems like the high booster's natural top speed is 150. And I mean, I don't get the gold rank on this one, but I don't care. Because look at this. So you see, once again, I don't get good enough of a trick, and it just starts me out at like 135, and that messes everything up. And then there's this. This happens multiple times. And there's this. I try to get some air off this ramp. That doesn't work. And then that really doesn't work. And then there's this. Hit the ramp, try to do the slide, but then I ended up doing the break accidentally. That was bad. And there's this. I do actually succeed at doing a slide, but I just end up falling off and failing immediately. And there were more. There were more than that. But everything else was a repeat. So, you know, that was something that happened. Yes, and then we have another air tank mission. Gotta have all those alternate rides. This is actually the first time that I don't get a gold ring on an air tank mission. And it's kind of sad why, but, I mean, at this point, I was just trying to get through everything. But yeah, I mean, going through this level, it's not too hard. Pretty simple stuff overall. Also, there's this moment. I mean, I thought that I was gone for I was gonna hit the bomb, then I was gonna restart the stage, but no, somehow I slipped between the bombs. And that was amazing. I love it. But yeah, I mean, lots of rails to grind on here, so that's pretty good. Gives you lots of air that way. So maybe you could get more air by doing tricks off of those? I'm not sure. But yeah, here's the mess up. I don't turn well enough, and that results in me falling and not getting the rail. And I think that if I had gotten the rail, the air that I would have gotten from it would have actually given me the gold. I mean, you know, just a little bit turn, and it's basically over. And for that run, I get a bronze rank. Yeah, that happened. Like I said, I'm pretty sure that if I would have gotten that rail, I would have gotten a gold rank. Alright, so it's another fight with Jet, because, I mean, you know, you gotta fight Jet, like, all the time. Also, whenever doing Waves missions, all the Wave fights were with Sonic, and for the Jet missions, all the Jet fights are with Knuckles. Which kind of makes sense. I mean, he's Knuckles. He's the guy that fights people. Although it also makes it a lot more difficult than Wave's missions, because Sonic as a speed character was naturally faster than Wave, a flight character. Knuckles, meanwhile, as a power character, is slower than the speed character Jet. So, I mean, it makes it a little bit more difficult than previously. That said, it's not that tough, because I've already got 3 hits on him, and now all I have to do is win. I'm pretty sure that all ability pathways are removed from these fights, so that's kind of interesting. You also don't get to ride the crazy taxi in any of these missions. Any of our crazy taxiing is done at this point in the game. And that's kind of sad, because I feel like riding the crazy taxi is probably the best part of this stage. Even if I don't even play Crazy Taxi, it's cool. And there we go! Surprisingly, I don't think I ever got any outtakes for any of the fights. Wait, no, yes I did. I definitely got some outtakes for some of the fights. I think I already showed one. But yeah, and then the 5th mission for his second set of missions is just a race. A pretty tough race. One of the hardest races in the game, probably, but I mean, you know, it's just a race. Nothing too interesting. But nothing too bad, either. There's also a bunch of obstacles in the middle of the road, so, you know, that's nice. But I'm pretty sure that I've got a pretty good track set for Desert Ruins at this point. Playing as a speed character, anyway. For a long time, I couldn't really figure out how to properly navigate this section in particular with a speed character. But I think I've got it at this point. Trying to do all those rails on the left side are just really pointless. Also, I ended up slipping between the dash pads. Whenever playing it originally, I couldn't figure out what happened. It's like, what the heck? Did I just fly over the dash pads without hitting them? But no, I just went between them. Anyway, with that said, I'm Mr. Game Pie, and next time, we finish up mission mode. See you then!